Hello there. Today we're looking into where or what people believe the universe came from. By people, I mean the ones who believe in God and the ones who deny the existence of God. If it's your first time here, welcome. I'm happy you pressed play. My name is Gigi. I like to share thoughts and ideas about many things while I'm on a very cool journey to wisdom and better critical thinking. This is the Christian Apologetics series. If you have missed the first 5 videos, check them out for context. And of course, subscribe for later videos. So, where does the universe come from? The earth, the people, the animal, the plants, everything. Considering the universe is made of matter, dark matter, ordinary matter, energy, according to the science that we spoke about earlier, it's safe to say that we can ask ourselves where that matter and energy comes from. Also, when you look around you up in the sky and when you see pictures that brave people whose job is to go into distance far, far from Earth, observe it and report, you're sure to realize that the universe is also made of space. So how did this space come to be? Also, as you watch this video, it is a certain date and a certain time. For example, by the time I'm making this video, we are in April of 2024. This is a spot in time itself. Of course, we know that the year 2024 refers to 2024 years after the birth of Jesus Christ. Wink, wink. But there was a time even before Christ, in ancient time. So we know that time advances, it moves forward. But when, or I guess how, did the clock start? Now, one thing that Christians and non-Christians agree on is that all of this had to have a beginning, a moment zero where nothing was and then something was. From school or from just your readings, you've probably heard of the Big Bang Theory that many atheists embrace, not all, but many, that proposes an original explosion around 10 or 12 or 13 billion, years ago that started the world. And that world has been moving and expanding since. So according to that same Big Bang Theory, the universe originated from an extremely small and dense point of infinite, temperature and density. And as the universe expanded and got, cooler, colder, we've had elementary particles like electrons, for example, and then atoms that were formed. You might also have heard of similar theories like inflationary cosmology or quantum fluctuations, which from what I gathered from my readings seem like just a form of the Big Bang Theory. So, of course, if you would like to look into it on your own time, better explained by people that are smarter than me, you can. But I will summarize it to the fact that some people believe that the beginning of things was somewhat of an explosion and it happened. And over time, this explosion expanded and complexified. And now here we are. If you have a different theory on the origin of things to share as an atheist or agnostic person, please share with us in the comment section. I wouldn't want to speak for everybody. Or, if you have a better way to explain the Big Bang Theory, again, I'm not the best communicator in the world, so feel free to share in the comments. But what I do know how to communicate is what Christians believe. So I will tell you what Christians and all theists, for that matter, believe. We believe that time and space and matter also had a beginning, so we agree. But we believe that time and space and matter had to have originated from something outside of time and space and matter. There is a very famous book by Frank Turek that I feel like the title of this book really expresses Christians' relation to the origin of things. The book is called I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. And I think that's just it. We don't have enough faith to believe that things come to existence out of nowhere, out of nothing. To me personally, that essentially is believing in magic, right? When you're doing a magic trick, something seems to appear and out of nowhere. Except we know that in magic, it's a trick. There is an origin to the thing. There is a designer to the magic trick. And the object came from something. It was just hidden, but it came from something originally. It was made, and the magician built the numero, right? The magic trick, and presented it. I've said in the beginning of the series that my goal with this apologetics series is to convey to an atheist or agnostic, that might be you listening, that believing in God is not irrational or nonsensical, but quite to the contrary. That believing in God is 100% rational. As I said, this series is mostly for you, and I do understand I have a special heart to communicate this message to people that could be wondering what Christians believe. So you've never seen a thing in this physical world and thought that it came from nowhere and was designed by no one except the very physical world we live in. And so, voila. Christians believe that something that is outside of time, outside of space, and outside of matter created time and space and matter. Because you can't create something and somewhere if you are in the thing and the place itself. Okay, but what is outside of time? Well, something eternal, of course. Eternal means without beginning, without end, existing infinitely into the past, infinitely into the future. It exists outside of the constraints of time. Now, what's outside of space? Well, something with no special limitations, of course, something bigger than space itself, something that expanded the space to begin with. And what's something outside of matter? Well, something immaterial, of course, something to be beyond the physical world. And if matter is not the thing's essence, it must be transcendent and metaphysical. So, like spiritual. Okay, so Christians believe something outside of space and time and matter created, time, space, and matter. But if we look at how beautifully everything works together, when we look at nature, science, birth, stars, moons, galaxies, but also something a little bit more beautiful, like a heartbeat, the blink of an eye, a pregnancy, and again, human birth itself, everything, honestly. We also realize that the thing that Christians believe created all of it, well, that thing must have been intelligent, ultra intelligent, supra intelligent, because of how complex the machine is, but also how perfect and precise and again, beautiful it is. Okay, so Christians believed something outside of time, space, and matter created time, space, and matter, and also, very, very intelligently. Yes, but there is more. Christians also believe this thing is not a thing really, because if the thing is bigger and better than its creation and it has intelligence, well, believers, also believe that it has a will, because to create something, you have to want to create it, and to create it with so much precision and beauty, you have to want it to be beautiful and good and to work well. And you have to have an idea of what beauty is and how you want it to work. And so that's a will and a personality, for that matter. And because of that, Christians don't believe it's a thing, but a being. We call that being God. So, to summarize, some think the origin of things is due to nothing or somewhat of an explosion, but that explosion came out of nothing. And other believes the origin of things happened on purpose and by a being capable of fulfilling that purpose and wanting it in the first place. Okay, so I explained what we think. Next time I will look into what kind of evidence there is for the existence of such a being, the existence of God, because there are many, many arguments for it. So stay tuned. Of course, feel free to share your thoughts on what we have covered today, or send this to someone who was wondering about this very thing. See you next time.